1 year after the killing of Osama bin Laden, we are now seeing his final words online. Captured documents show him concerned about al-Qaeda's image as he tries to get control of a weakened organization under siege.
Senior correspondent John Miller, a former assistant director of national intelligence, is with us now. Good morning.
Good morning, Charlie.
What do you make of these letters that they have gotten their hands on?
Well, I mean, it shows a frustrated bin Laden who at once is trying to micromanage the organization and at the same time realizes the lack of capability that al-Qaeda Central has and is farming that out to some of the affiliate groups. What you also see here is him chafing at those very groups like Tariq-i-Taliban that got a truck bomb in Times Square, and AQAP, or Al-Qaeda of the Arabian Peninsula, which was getting a very high profile. And one reason AQAP was getting such a high profile was its magazine, Inspire, which surprised some by coming out with a double issue this week.
The glossy, highly produced online magazine has become the Vanity Fair of terrorism. Its publisher was Anwar al-Awlaki, al-Qaeda's master propagandist. Its editor, Samir Khan, an American, but both were killed in a drone strike in Yemen last year. Much of the two latest issues of Inspire magazine offer instructions on how to carry out a variety of attacks.
Al-Qaeda has now moved to simpler, smaller plots that don't cause as many casualties, but which can still terrorize the West.
The publication calls for al-Qaeda's followers to set intentional wildfires out west using ember bombs, detailed instructions on how to operate guns, and then to follow people and assassinate them, and how to develop plots using chemical and biological weapons in U.S. cities.
If you look at the kinds of targets al-Qaeda wants to hit, you have to look at a couple of characteristics. You have to look at casualties, not just because the number of dead hurts the West, but because it gathers more media attention.
Almost every issue of Inspire has a section with detailed bomb-making instructions. Issue number 8 had a section on remote-controlled detonators. Intelligence analysts believe the instructions came from this man, Ibrahim al-Asiri, al-Qaeda's Yemen-based explosives expert.
This is a guy who designed the bomb that almost killed the deputy chief of counterterrorism in Saudi Arabia. This is the guy who designed the bomb that was used on Northwest 253 in an attempt on the United States on Christmas Day. He designed the bombs that were put in parcel posts and mailed to Chicago in 2010.
Now, the latest issue of Inspire magazine came out together Wednesday, that double issue, after a long delay. Some of the work to prepare these issues may have come from Samir Khan, the American who ran the magazine, but since Khan and Anwar al-Awlaki were killed in that U.S. drone strike in Yemen a year ago, it's clear that al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula has found some new publishing talent.
Now, is it good news or bad news that you're in this magazine?
Well, I am in the section called Friends and Foes, but that's where they take quotes from CIA counterterrorism officials, al-Qaeda spokesmen, and they kind of mix them together to show that people are talking about them, part of the struggle for relevancy.
Is there any sense as to how many people this really reaches, beyond people like yourself who are looking at it for clues?
Well, it reaches many more people than the government would like. It's hard to get the number, though, because once people get it, they turn it into a PDF, they start passing it around. But we know from looking at that, at least from when I was in the government, that tens of thousands of downloads happen here in the United States.
Just in the U.S., and what about in other English-speaking countries like the U.K.?
And many more in those places. I mean, it's really, they are leveraging the internet and globalization with a pretty high-end product.
Is it clear that we know a lot more because of Osama bin Laden and the raid there and his death and other means of disclosure about al-Qaeda than we've ever known before?
I mean, Charlie, it confirmed a lot of what we suspected, but it did give us some new insights. Not only, it answered some of our questions about bin Laden's real relevance in running day-to-day operations.
The relevance word he worried about.
Exactly, and it showed that he had the same questions as to his own relevance.
Yeah. John Miller, thank you very much.